It's the NFL on EA Sports, where we'll see this team's superstar running back. He should be a busy man out of the backfield. We're just moments away from the action. Next on EA Sports.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a glance here at their shifty mobile signal caller.
And they are in rhythm on offense because of him. I mean, right now, he's got everything going the way he wants to, finding the receivers the way he wants to, looking over defenses. No interceptions is the number I lock in on. Before a touchdown pass isn't so bad either.
Yeah, what a game he had last week. They'll start on the ground here on first down. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down. You look at this Niner defense. They enter play one from the bottom, number 31 in the league, Charles, against the run.
And the focus now is making sure that they're hitting on all cylinders as they head into the playoffs. And that means they've got to stop the run better, because playoff football often means running football. So they've got to be prepared for that.
Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Now someone is pretty happy right there. That's the defense coordinator. Body after body getting to him before he can get started.
A give to the fullback on the dive. And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
Now's a good chunk of yardage picked up there. And big fella, sometimes he doesn't need a whole lot of space created. He can make his own way.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And his guys have taken a first-quarter lead.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Extra point attempt to follow here. It's up and good, and it'll give his guys a 7-0 lead. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Well, the 49ers getting ready to go on offense, and it's the Pro Bowler Brock Purdy at the helm in his 3rd NFL season now out of Iowa State.
And last week's loss came despite a clean game on his end, throwing the ball with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. His job this week is simple. Do it again. Continue to avoid turnovers and hope that what sunk them last week resolves itself this time around.
Back to throw, Purdy. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. And they get to him right out of the gate. And this defense hoping that that's a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah, when you give up a first-play sack, makes your quarterback wonder if he's going to go to the sidelines and talk with his offense coordinator and head coach and say, hey, you know that game plan we put together? We might need to change it right now.
And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long. This defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusions, and especially just beat them man for man. That's the kind of defense that really frustrates.
Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. Fielded at the 33. Shedding the tackle. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And bulldozing his way through. The 20. Still going. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A great effort there. His 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Point after, right down the middle, and it's now 14-0. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. 1 play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their second drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Purdy now to throw. Gets this one to Juszczyk. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Purdy from the gun. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. They'll send a tight end in motion right. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this ball recovered by the offense. But remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
This will be fielded at the 17. Boom! Still fighting through tackles. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The visitors' offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's been a nightmare for defenses to try and contain all year long. NFL leader in rushing yards at the QB position. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. Looking to throw. Dancing to his left. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. It's their quarterback. As the first half is winding down. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game and no signs of slowing down.
Extra point attempt here still to come. And it is now 21-0. Hardly any time taken off the clock there. 2 plays, and they find the end zone for 6 points. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And they will take a knee here. So we've hit halftime in what was obviously a very fast-moving first half of play. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. More from you and Charles in a bit. But first, time for a look around the NFL to see what's going on here in the late window. We'll get things started up at Ford Field in Detroit, where you see the final score there. Malik Willis, terrific in the victory, as his guys move their record to 9-4 on the year. From there, we're off to check out another game, and they have the lead in that one over the visiting Buffalo Bills. Matthew Stafford, 3 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's head up to the Twin Cities to check in on the Vikings at home in Minneapolis. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Atlanta Falcons. Sam Darnold, terrific in the victory, as his guys get to 10 wins and run their mark to 10-3.
This was an extremely one-sided first half. One team showed up ready to go. The other's been in a daze thus far, but there's still plenty of time left for this one to tighten up significantly. Both these teams running through their final adjustments before they head out for the second half. Time for us to go back to Levi's Stadium as we'll hand it back over to Brandon Godden.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. The 49ers going to have the football and trailing on the scoreboard as we get back underway on EA Sports. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This set played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. Well, if these guys wanted to get back in this game, they needed an almost perfect second half. And down 3 scores, a lost fumble here certainly doesn't fit into that plan.
That reminds me of my plan in college to get an A on the papers I turned in, but that didn't work out too well either. Too many mistakes by both of us. I mean, that's just pure and simple. And that's why that's exactly where they are in this ball game. They're going to need a huge turnaround if they want to try and win this one.
The visitors' offense and their wide receiver getting set for this next possession. And as we hit the home stretch here, you can see he leads all NFL wideouts in touchdown grabs this season. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. A handoff as they run the counter play. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A great play there with his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the fumble recovery leads to 6 points. So they're able to capitalize there on the short field, and that might prove to be the score that turns out the lights.
The party's over. Oh, sorry about that. That's an old reference there, folks. But, yeah, they've been the better of the 2 teams by far, and that's great complimentary football right there. Defense gets the turnover, sets up the short field, and the offense goes right out and scores to open up a pretty sizable lead.
The extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 28-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he returns this to the 22. And San Francisco gets set to go here. But the disparity in this game, it just seems to grow with each possession here, Charles. They are really struggling. They have not put up a single point, and on the other side, the points keep piling up and up and up.
So you know the frustration level has to be rising, right? So they've got to find a way to quell that, because otherwise they certainly won't get anything done in this one. Keep diving deeper into the offensive playbook, but bottom line is don't quit competing.
From the 29, here's 2nd and 3. Here's Pearsall on the jet sweep, and he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
And the 49ers first down. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Purdy going to give this one to Mason. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game, because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain. This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
They need 12 here. It's 3rd down. Purdy. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for San Francisco. Taking it about the 16. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things? That's what we're staring at right now, the way this one is going.
Henry To'o there on the tackle. They work now on 2nd and 9. They've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That good for 19 and a first down. On the give, this is their fullback. And he'll be taken down after a decent gain, and that will bring us to the end of this third quarter of play. We have played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. And now a carry here for their fullback. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35. Now a timeout called for by the offense. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. I'm not sure what other ground there is to cover here. I mean, this offense has been amazing. Just total domination, Charles.
They've clicked so well, and if you really focus in on the offensive line, they've protected well when they've wanted to throw the ball. They've moved people off the line of scrimmage when they've wanted to run it. Smiles all the way around. This offense has been really good in this one.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. 5 plays there on that drive. And a long run there in the end to top it off. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that's going to be short of the landing zone. It doesn't make it there, so that means the ball is going to come out to the 40. So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty.
Automatic first down.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Purdy looking to throw. He's got Mason complete. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
In trouble, and he's taken down. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
Well, it's obvious, but I can't help but say it here. It's never a good day when the opposing defense has more sacks than you have points. The win seems likely, but this defense is still playing for something here. They see that 0 on the scoreboard, and they don't want that to change.
Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Purdy from the gun on 3rd down. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. And he fields it cleanly. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. Remember, he called his own number on the touchdown run earlier, and that's something he's been able to do with some frequency this season, as you see here where he ranks among NFL quarterbacks. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
Now he's loose again, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Extra point right down the middle, and it is 42-0. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. Facing a big 4th quarter deficit here, things not looking good. This offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. Out of the gun, Purdy. Keeps himself upright. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on 1st down to set him back on 2nd. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Now Purdy. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the defense. And he's got his guys set up great now. 1st and goal. And the Pigs get at the 7-yard line.
Okay, this isn't one where you want to take the game tape and hold it up as an example, do you? I mean, you talk about frustrating all the way through. And that last error, I think that crystallizes it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's been representative of their entire game still being shut out. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Now it looks like he'll throw here. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Well, when they said before the game that they were going to try and execute every second of this contest, I guess that was taken literally, because here they are in the final moments of the 4th, putting another touchdown on the board, Charles, to add to this big lead.
I'm not a big believer in 110%, but it certainly applies here, doesn't it? Because some guys just can't go with less. As long as there's time left on the clock, they're pushing to get to the end zone one more time. They don't really care about what the optics show. They just want to finish the game off the way that they like to play it. Full speed, all out.
Point after, right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a pretty poor kick here. It doesn't make it to the landing zone. And that means they'll move the ball out to the 40-yard line. And that flag accepted. Good starting field position for the 49ers as they have it 1st and 10 at the 40. Shotgun now with Purdy. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And that is going to officially draw the curtain on this one as the last throw intercepted. For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the stuff that we saw happen today. Those are statistics, numbers, the whole deal. But my question is, how does one team come ready to play, and the other one, obviously, not ready at all?
Well, I mean, I obviously don't have an answer to that, but that was the story from the get-go. One side was awake and ready, and the other just seemed asleep. So for our visitors, it's a 10th win on the year as they move to 10-3. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for the 49ers, they're squarely in play for next year mode now as they drop to 2-11. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gautin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.